Hey, happy Friday. Good to see you. It's the 8th day of November 2019. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We are feeling so good today. Well, for one thing, it's Friday. We love Fridays because Fridays, according to my calendar, is immediately followed by Saturdays and Sundays. And for many of us, we call that the weekend. And we want to thank whoever it was that came up with that idea. I mean, think about it. Nobody wants to have like a Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday. That didn't work out. Nope, we got a weekend coming our way. Great night last night. Phenomenal football game at Wildcat Stadium. Without question, one of the best games we've ever broadcast. A lot of people tuned in to watch the Wildcats and the Panthers do battle at Wildcat Stadium. Excitement wasn't just in the air, it was the air. It was an epic battle. Very well played, hard-hitting football game between the Wildcats and the Panthers. Kudos to both. Of course, the Wildcats pulled it out in the very end. We got highlights. Oh, baby, do we have highlights. If you missed the game, you can watch it in its entirety tonight at 6:30 on the NCAA Life channel. All three teams will be co-champions of the Columbia Basin Big Nine. They're going to have to make two more trophies, I think. So Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Sunnyside, they all get to share the conference championship, but they still have to punch their tickets to state. They'll do that on tomorrow at Moses Lake. More details when we get to sports. But it was a great night. Great crowd, enthusiasm. I was so excited. Of course, we worked the game, and when you work the game in my profession, I'm working the game, so I don't really get a chance to enjoy the game. I'm running from camera position to camera position and that kind of stuff. So when I got back last night, got home and settled in at about 10:30 in the evening, I watched the game because I DVR'd it and I watched the game, and all of a sudden it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I said, I got to get up in 3 hours and go back to work. So I'm feeling good. Thank you to my teammate Megan, who brought me some chai tea to get me through this morning. We're feeling good. Great stuff. Lots of highlights from last night's Bridge of Sportsmanship game. We got a bunch of news. We got your weekend weather forecast coming your way. Weekend events, of course, because it's Friday. One more chance to win Wenatchee Wild tickets, ticket vouchers, I should say. You can use them anytime you want. We'll do that a little bit later on this morning. In fact, the Wenatchee Wild will be the topic of our conversation portion of this program coming up in the back half of the hour. We went down to the Town Toyota Center, visited with Trevor Griebel. He is a defenseman for the Wenatchee Wild, and of course, Chris Clark, the assistant coach. So we're talking Wild hockey in the back half of the hour. Lots of great stuff going on. We're looking forward to it. Quick reminder, though, Monday is Veterans Day, all right? Monday is Veterans Day. We will be here, but for the most part, it's going to be a pretty quiet Monday. Government offices will be closed. There'll be no school, no mail delivery. Just a quick heads up in case you forgot, Monday will be Veterans Day. A gorgeous sunrise. I'm drinking my tea. Why do you say we just show the cameras around the valley for an hour and I'll drink my tea and we'll call it a show? Can't do that. Let's go around the valley with our Valley View cameras. Look at that sunrise. About 10 minutes ago, Megan and I were looking at this camera view that we see here, our cross camera from the tip of Wenatchee Heights, and the entire valley was bathed in a pinkish, reddish, rust-colored kind of hue. It was just a perfect angle of the sun coming up over the bench and the high clouds. It was just awe-inspiring, and it still looks pretty darn good. As you can see, the sun's just starting to bathe the upper Sunny Slope area, and up it goes. The sun got up at 6:55 this morning. The sun will go down at 4:34 tonight. That'll buy us 9 hours and 39 minutes of daylight. Still have the air stagnation advisory. That's going to go until noon today, but it looks like it's going to expire. That high-pressure ridge is finally starting to move. It's gone south and to the west, and so it's going to allow some disturbances to come in, but the disturbances are really, really weak. Really not packing a lot of punch, but it is going to be enough to clean out the air. That's good news for everybody. Camera 2, where are we off to, Megan? I don't know. We can find out together. It's a slow dissolve. Well, there you go. It's a Rondo Rock. That is, what is that on the right-hand side? That's kind of interesting. It's got to be some sort of cloud. I don't know what that is. That's an interesting little formation on the far right-hand side of our screen. Looks like a giant toadstool. Oh, well. Hope it's not a fire. I think it's just a cloud or maybe some smoke from an orchard burn or something. That's the Rondo Rock camera pointing down towards the Wenatchee Valley. Turtle Rock dominating your screen. Of course, Lake Aniat down there as well and way off in the distance. The Wenatchee Valley, Rocky Reach Dam, Mission Ridge. Beautiful Friday morning. All of these cameras courtesy of Local Tales Sky-Fi High-Speed Wireless. Camera number 3. Hi to that area there. Waterville? Rude Canyon, I should have known that. Good morning, Rude Canyon. Looks considerably brighter up there, Rude Canyon. Beautiful. Look at I hope they had a good season wheat-wise this year. I don't know. I'll get caught up on that. Good morning to all of our friends up at Rude Canyon. We are the #1 rated live local television show in Brute Canyon. We are so proud of that. Camera number 4. Hello to Bill E. Goat, USA, beautiful. I have no words to describe that. Look at the little layer of clouds hanging right over the Brewster area. Way off in the distance, we can see Canada. There's a few high clouds. Just stunning. Just stunning. This is a beautiful, beautiful area we live in. Secret's out, by the way. People are moving here. Nothing we can do about that. That's our view around the valley. It's 6 minutes after the hour. From the National Weather Service, courtesy of our friends at Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. They give your home a hug. Here is your forecast. One more day of dry, stable, sunny conditions. You see that high of 46 degrees. That's a couple of ticks below normal. We hit 47 on Thursday. Our normal high for this date would be 48, so a little on the cool side. We're at 30 degrees right now. And as I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, that high-pressure ridge, which has been absolutely well-entrenched for the entire month of November, really for the most part, it has moved to the south, it has moved to the west, and that's going to allow a weak weather disturbance to come in. And we have a potential of some light precipitation. I am not betting on it. In fact, basically the only thing that's going to change is we're going to have cloudy skies instead of sunny skies and warmer conditions instead of cooler conditions, for the simple fact that we'll have warmer overnight lows. So it looks like this air stagnation advisory will expire at noon today. It's supposed to expire at noon today. Don't think they'll extend it. I think we're going to be all right. So the pollution dispersion is probably going to happen, even though it really didn't affect our air quality a great deal. So things are just looking really fantabulous. If you have Monday off for Veterans Day, going to be a little on the cloudy side and a high of about 52, but no real complaints. We could use a little bit of wind to scour out the skies. That's not going to happen. There's really no wind at all in the forecast, but the disturbance that's going to come in over the weekend is weak enough it should make us make the air quality considerably better for many, many people. Things are looking good, really, no problems at all. No precipitation. We're in a long period of dry weather after a normally record-breaking cool October. It's been kind of a benign start to the month of November. So there you go. There's your forecast from our friends at Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. It's 8 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at your Friday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're broadcasting live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
My name's Tashina and I live in Chelan. I've been a CVCH patient for several years. The thing that I love about CVCH the most is like everybody knows everybody. That's just a really kind of special thing, is kind of takes that phobia of being in the clinic away. I would just tell all the CVCH staff that they're doing great, and thank you for making us feel comfortable, and you guys are always there for us, and the whole staff checks in on us and we really appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Jim Heinlein, owner and agent at Springwater Insurance Group, formerly known as Senior Insurance Services. There's so much new this year. In fact, we brought in a new consultant, Harley, to help us with all our Medicare changes. So if you have questions about how Plan F's going away or what drug plan should I use this year, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group and Harley and I will solve those problems for you. 888-2600.
We're back. It's 30 degrees. We have a few high clouds, quite a bit of sunshine for the most part today. We're going to cloud up and warm up over the weekend, and let's keep you on the loop and in the loop on this Friday. Here's your headlines. You can expect to see more city streets and county roads in disrepair as a result, of course, of the apparent passage of I-976. A local transportation official says the ballot measure that caps the cost of a vehicle license tab at $30 is going to have an impact. NCW Life's own Steve Hare spoke yesterday with Chelan Douglas Transportation Council Executive Director Jeff Wilkins, who says you may not see the impacts right away.
I mean, I think the most immediate answer that I'm somewhat knowledgeable about is just the local car tabs, not the state, but the local ones at the City of Wenatchee and City of East Wenatchee. Those presumably are gone. Exact dollars, it's somewhere in the ballpark of about $1 million a year of local tax that was 100% dedicated to overlaying roads in the valley. So that's gone. That's a big hit. That's a big hit. I mean, and the real point I want to stress about that is You'll hear us talking about this as though it's a crisis, but it's not going to look like a crisis. When you got up and got on the road this morning, it didn't look any different. The purpose of overlaying these roads every 8 to 10 years is to prevent them from falling apart. So if we don't have enough money going into the roads to prevent them from falling apart, they'll fall apart. It just won't happen for 5 or 10 years. So the impact won't be immediately visible.
Now, Wilkins says there are some projects, such as the proposed replacement of the West Kashmir Bridge, that could be affected.
If I made a prediction, let's assume 976 sticks and isn't ruled unconstitutional or doesn't go away for whatever reason. The legislature just has to make some really difficult decisions. I think I've seen in the ballpark of a 15% reduction in the transportation funding statewide. How they're going to deal with that is just yet to be seen. They could give dozens of different transportation funding sources a 15% equal trim. They could eliminate 2 or 3 existing grant programs. I'll give you an example of one. The West Kashmir Bridge that's scheduled to be rebuilt next year. One of the funding sources, a significant one, is a state agency called the Freight Mobility Strategic Investment Board. Their funds are a good example of a category of dollars that could be in jeopardy as a result of I-976. So we're fortunate that we've already secured funds. I don't think the dollars tied to West Kashmir Bridge are in jeopardy, but this could close the door on ever being able to go back to an agency like that to try to help fund an important local project.
More than 60 cities in our state use car tab fees to pay for road construction, bus services, sidewalks, and such. The state also charges fees to help pay for programs, including the Washington State Patrol's traffic enforcement, also highway maintenance, ferry operations, and maintenance of county roads and county bridges. We haven't heard of the last of this story. Douglas County prosecutors have formally charged a Waterville man who allegedly threatened to kill a teenage boy for sleeping with his wife. Dylan O'Gara Smith, 21 years old, was arrested Sunday after allegedly threatening the 15-year-old victim and walking through Waterville with a shotgun. He's charged now with counts including second-degree assault, felony harassment, and reckless endangerment. His wife may face sex offense charges for alleged sexual contact with a minor. O'Gara Smith is being held on a $25,000 bond in the Okanagan County Jail. Well, the dispute over a planned new theme park in the Bavarian town of Leavenworth came before a Chelan County judge earlier this week. Our very own Jefferson Robbins filed this report.
At Wednesday's court hearing on the fate of a controversial Leavenworth amusement park, there was one point Judge Travis Brandt wanted to be sure of.
So your position is that 100% of the people that use the park are already going to be located in Leavenworth. No one's going to come to Leavenworth. There's nobody living in Wenatchee, for example, that would say, hey, Mom, Dad, can we go up to Leavenworth to ride on the toboggan?
That question goes to the heart of opposition to the $6 million adventure park, which developers want to place on a rocky hillside at the west edge of Leavenworth. The park, on the drawing board since last year, would include a climbing wall, bungee trampoline, and an alpine coaster, a mountainside toboggan track that's popular in parts of Germany and Switzerland. Opponents of the project, a civic group called Friends of Leavenworth, say it would mean more traffic, light, noise, and parking disturbances than the city can bear. After a Leavenworth hearing examiner approved the needed permits for Phase 1 of the park, they challenged his decision in court.
I mean, this town is built on this Bavarian theme, and if you start loading it up with projects that undermine that, you're destroying the foundation of this town's economy. So it's not just bad aesthetics and bad environment, but it's bad economics as well.
Plaintiffs say the permit went through without proper assessments, including inadequate noise, traffic, and environmental studies. The hearing examiner's ruling found that more traffic was likely, but said there was no evidence that the park would bring more tourists to Leavenworth.
I would anticipate it is fair to say that perhaps no significant traffic is going to be generated, because what we're getting to here is this is not a Seattle Center type of park. This is not large volumes. This is not a large volume theme amusement type park.
Brandt plans to take the appeal under advisement. A written ruling is still to come. Jefferson Robbins, NCW Life.
Thank you for that report, Jefferson. We appreciate it. The Chelan City Council has finalized the purchase of 9.8 acres of lakefront property on Spader Bay. $400,000 is what it's going to cost. The land acquisition is part of the city's goal to preserve and protect public access to Lake Chelan. Now, the property is being bought from Linda Evans Parlett and Terry O'Neill. After voting last month to go ahead with the purchase, the council heard from several citizens opposed to buying the steep property with limited access, but the council voted at 6-1 on Tuesday to finalize the deal. One of the Wenatchee Valley's most treasured nature preserves could be undergoing some changes in the future. Our senior news correspondent Steve Hare followed this report.
The Huron Natural Area is located near the confluence of the Columbia and Wenatchee Rivers, linked by the Apple Capital Loop Trail between Walla Walla Point Park and Confluence State Park. The former orchard land was purchased by the PUD in the 1980s for recreation and wildlife preservation for the Rock Island Dam project. The land is managed by the State Department of Parks and Recreation. Now, the two entities are now engaged in a visioning process for its future management, and they hosted an open house Wednesday to get more community feedback. PUD project leader Michelle Smith explains how the natural area could be impacted by future city development plans.
So we're right now looking at a lot of influencing factors in that area. We have, if people aren't aware, there's a Confluence Parkway project that the city is working on, and so they've asked us to engage on that project. That parkway is proposed to go kind of along the railroad and near the park and possibly even impact part of the park area. So we're working closely with the city with that project right now as they go through their environmental assessment. We're also getting a lot of input from local stakeholders, Audubon Society, Friends of the Huron, Our Valley, Our Future. There's a lot of folks that have a lot of interest in the future for that Huron area, and we're getting some really good feedback from those folks on improvements, things they would like to see.
Ryan Layton is the Eastern Regional Manager for the State Department of Parks and Recreation.
It's been a while since we've done a comprehensive management plan looking at the Huron area and what an asset it is to the park system and to the Chelan PUD's inventory of recreational properties. So we're looking forward to some outcomes here that can help set some goals and some objectives for the long-term management of the property.
Officials say the visioning process will continue with more public outreach planned. You can learn more about the project on the PUD's website. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you for that report, Steve. Enrollment continues to decline at Wenatchee Valley College. The latest numbers are out. In fact, they're down 2.1% from last year. Because state funding for colleges is based on enrollment, a task force has been formed to review the scope of the college's budget challenges. State funding accounts for more than half of the Wenatchee Valley College's revenue. The number of students at the college has been falling for the past decade or so. There are 6,289 students projected to be enrolled at Wenatchee Valley College. That's down from 7,710 in 2009. The president of Wenatchee Valley College, Jim Richardson, said low unemployment and smaller high school classes account for much of the enrollment decline. More people are choosing work over college, he said. This is also the first time students in the Running Start program has actually gone down since Running Start was first offered back in 1993. And finally, it's Friday. Have you made any weekend plans yet? Here's a little primer, some of the things that are going on. It's Weekend Events with Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. The American Red Cross is holding a blood drive in the local Tell Event Center at Pybus Public Market this Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. To register to donate blood or for additional information, go to redcrossblood.org. Come see the Alchemy Tap Project this Friday at 7 p.m. at the Icicle Creek Center for the Arts. The group is a Seattle-based performance company for serious tap dancers ages 16 and up. The company was founded on the principles of experimentation, entertainment, and excellence. Since its inception in 2012, ATP has become a regular on stages around the Pacific Northwest. Get your tickets at icicle.org. Full Circle Theater presents Circle Mirror Transformation, happening this Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. at the Riverside Playhouse. When four lost New Englanders who enroll in Marty's 6-week-long community center drama class begin to experiment with harmless games, hearts are quietly torn apart and tiny wars of epic proportions are waged in one. Join Full Circle Theater Company as they present Annie Baker's beautifully crafted diorama, a petri dish in which we see, with hilarious detail and clarity, the antic sadness of a motley quintet. Tickets may be purchased at NumericaPack.org or 1 hour before showtime at the door. Kick off the holiday shopping season in downtown Wenatchee this Saturday from noon to 5 p.m. at the Holiday Open House and Wine Walk. Visit participating downtown locations hosting wineries and cideries from throughout the region. Sip, stroll, and shop through the heart of downtown. Get your holiday wish list made or cross those gifts off the list for loved ones. And finally, the students of the Icicle Creek Youth Orchestra perform in their annual fall concert this Sunday at 3 p.m. Icicle Creek Youth Orchestra is in its 25th year of providing high-quality orchestral music instruction to students throughout North Central Washington. Admission to this event is now free, but donations to support the Youth Orchestra program are encouraged. There will be opportunity to donate while reserving tickets online and at the concert. RSVP to this event by reserving your tickets at icicle.org. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Lots of things to do this weekend, no question about that. Hey, we have a newscast that's going to be coming your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. So before you start your weekend, keep yourself in the loop. Be informed. Grant Olson handles the details. In fact, here's a little look at some of the stories we're working on for tonight's evening news.
Good morning, Dan, and happy Friday. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, a Wenatchee theft case is now the subject of a state Supreme Court decision. We'll let you know about some of the events happening around the valley for you to enjoy this weekend. I'll have your complete weekend weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will have highlights and reaction from last night's Bridge of Sportsmanship football game between Wenatchee and Eastmont. That and much more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. Hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. We appreciate it. By the way, kudos to Eric and Grant. They called a great game last night. It's easy to call a great game when it's a great game. We'd love to hear from you. Get a hold of us. Go to our Facebook page. Drop us a line via the Facebook Messenger. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call. You can go to our website, ncwlife.com, and contact us that way. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. And it turns out, as we discovered last night, we have a lot of viewers. We're going to take a break in 1 minute, so come back, go grab whatever it is. For me, it's the chai tea. Come back and join us. We'll talk about the Bridge of Sportsmanship. We got a highlight package you don't want to miss, all the other things that you need from the ever-widening world of sports, plus the obscure holiday. Today in history, we got birthdays, we got an opinion from Mike McNaughty, and we're talking wild hockey. Penticton's in town this weekend. We got a busy 42 minutes still to go. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Are you like many who are lacking in their retirement plan but are skeptical to talk to an advisor? Are you concerned about where you should put your money or who to trust? At Solomon Financial, we are more about the people we serve than policies or products. We are a fee-based fiduciary with the mission of giving you the peace of mind so you can live the retirement of your dreams. If you have any of these questions or concerns, we'd welcome you to come see us.
We're back 24 minutes after the hour. Let's do sports. Okay, drama, we had that. We had big plays. We had hard hits. We had last-minute heroics. And we have a Bridge of Sportsmanship champion, and it's the Eastmont Wildcats. They beat the Panthers last night in an epic battle, 28-24 at Wildcat Stadium. Count them, seven lead changes. Eastmont took the opening possession. They marched right down the field, 75 yards, 9 plays. They scored on a 7-yard touchdown run by Corbin Keys. Wenatchee countered immediately. They went on an 8-play, 76-yard drive. They tied it. Camden Sermon threw a touchdown pass to Riley Kuntz. Following an Eastmont punt, the Panthers took the first lead on a 13-play, 96-yard drive, and it was capped by a 3-yard touchdown pass from Sermon to Obadiah Young. The extra point, however, no good. Wenatchee still led 13-7. Eastmont retakes the lead on their next possession. Carson Everhart punching it in from a yard out. That capped an 11-play, 70-yard drive. 14-13 Wildcats. Panthers head to the locker room with a lead. Cesar Gonzalez connected on a 39-yard field goal on the last play of the half. So at halftime, it's 16-14 Panthers. Wenatchee takes the opening possession of the second half right down the field, but a field goal attempt was botched. The Panthers turn it over on downs. At the 2-yard line, Eastmont rallied offensively. An 11-play, 98-yard drive. Carson Talley scored from 10 yards out. So at this point, it's 21-16 Wildcats. Wenatchee's next series of downs would eat up over 4.5 minutes. That's where we pick up the highlights. Buckle your seatbelts. Here we go. Eric Granstrom and Grant Olson with the call.
Sermon again, hands to Blauman, counterplay inside, picking his way back to the 10, to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown for Nate Blauman from 18 yards out, and Wenatchee retakes the lead.
How about that? Beautiful blocking on the left side, but that was Nate Blauman and his vision. The play was supposed to go right side. He saw that open to the left, cut it back that side, didn't get touched. 13 or 18 yards, touchdown Panthers.
3 receivers wide to the right. They are at the 3-yard line for the 2-point conversion. Sermon pumping, throwing, found Blauman into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. It's a 3-point Wenatchee lead over Eastmont. Now standing at his own goal line. Here comes the punt. And a line drive kick and returnable by McElwain.
Look out.
35-30, far sideline and driven out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 4 years ago, it was an Eastmont 5-point win. 3 years ago, an Eastmont 3-point loss. 2 years ago, a 2-point win in overtime. Last year, a 1-point win. Can Eastmont pull it off here again? 4th down coming up. 9, low snap to Everhart. Throws down, looking for the end zone, looking for McElwain. Got it! Touchdown Eastmont! Touchdown Eastmont!
No flags down, 24 yards. Wildcats take the lead. What a great call by Coach Don and the coaching staff. Totally took the Panthers by surprise. I'm not sure why it would though, Eric, on a 4th and 10, a running play probably not going to happen, and Eastmont makes them pay.
Perfect play call because you don't get the completion. It's over on downs, no big deal. They intercept it in the end zone, no big deal.
Right.
Basically like a punt. Instead, a big touchdown play.
McElwain gets involved in this game in many, many ways.
And the extra point by Mago is up and good. 4th down and 7. The biggest 4th down of the defense's life here for Eastmont because they need to win this game to extend their season to a Saturday. A date in Moses Lake. That's what the Wildcat fans are hoping for. Wenatchee would like to slam that door shut right now. 4th down and 7. Sermon back to pass. Rolling to his right, looking downfield, throwing the ball. Intercepted at the 10-yard line. Eastmont's going to win it. Eastmont's going to win the Bridge of Sportsmanship. It's Gregerson on the interception.
And the place goes berserk, especially below us. The other side, very quiet, knowing it's over. Eastmont's season will live on.
And that will do it as Carson Everhart raises a hand into the air aloft. Goes over to the red zone with 5, with 4, with 3, with 2, with 1. And there will be another day in the existence of the 2019 season for the Eastmont Wildcats as they knock off the Wenatchee Panthers here in the Bridge of Sportsmanship, 28-24. Well, there you go. The Eastmont Wildcats have won the Bridge of Sportsmanship yet again. And in the process here at home, snap a 10-game losing streak to Wenatchee here on their home field. 28-24 is the final, and Wesley McElwain caught the game-winning touchdown. How does that sound for you?
I mean, it's what you dream of as a kid, you know? You think about a close game, and you want to be that kid that makes a play, and Coach Don let me do it, and it happened. It's great. It feels great.
It's been sparing that you've been in the offensive sets here so far this season, but it seems when you're in there, the ball seems to come your way.
He gives me a chance. I mean, that's all I can say. Coach Don trusts me. He says I can make the play, so I just go out and try to do what he wants me to do.
4th and long situation. Coach, you take that timeout. Tell me about that play call and about bringing Wesley in there.
Actually, originally we were going to run it under center and then play action boot, and then coming out into the timeout, had an opportunity to think about it a little bit more. We figured we'd give Everhart a little bit more room and gun, let him be a tall body guy, and Wesley running a corner out. We had a comeback underneath that was at first down distance. Their corners had been really aggressive all night. And, he came up and Everhart saw him knock deep and he threw it up and gave Wesley an opportunity to go make a big play. And obviously he made a big play.
Wesley, when you got down in the end zone, you see the ball coming to you. Is there anything going through your head at that moment?
I'm going to score. That's it. I'm going to score. I just knew that I was close to out of bounds line, so I just looked at my feet, got both of them in, and came down with it, make sure I had the catch.
There was some hard hitting going on in this football game here tonight, and Wenatchee came right down the stretch there, had a chance, but Jeremy comes up with a big interception on that fourth down play. How proud are you of this defense and what you guys were able to do?
I mean, we've been through a rough patch through league, but our red zone defense is, I got to say, the best in the league. We bend, but we don't break, and I love my guys, and I'm so proud of them tonight.
Coach, we talked about whether this would be a big play game or not. There were some big plays here, but not devastatingly big until this kid comes up with that touchdown pass.
Yeah, no, it was a grinded out type game. There's a lot of long play drives. I mean, a lot of 10-plus play drives from both teams. That was a slugfest, and that's exactly what we thought we'd get into with them is both teams were going to duke it out, and we're going to hit hard, and they brought it tonight, and obviously they're a lot better when number 23's back there, and that made them a lot scarier, and they were able to bounce back with him back in the backfield, and they did some really nice things that gave us some problems, but at the end of the day, we made the big play when we needed to.
Yes, they did. For the Wildcats, 260 yards of total offense. Tally led the way. Carried the ball 11 times, 98 yards, scored a touchdown. Wenatchee had nearly 400 yards of offense. Nate Blauman, not surprisingly, led the way. 23 carries, 148 yards, scored a touchdown. Camden Searman for the Panthers, 19 for 25, 225 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and that late interception. So where are we in all this? Well, both teams advanced to play Saturday at Moses Lake. Sunnyside, by the way, beat Moses Lake last night, 56-0. So here we go. Eastmont and Sunnyside will play at 1 o'clock. It's 2 10-minute halves. The winner goes to state as the number 1 seed out of the Big Nine. The loser will take on Wenatchee 20 minutes later. Same format. The winner of that game will go to state as the number 2 seed out of the Big Nine. By the way, if you missed last night's game or you were there and you want to relive the memories and it was a memorable game, we're going to rebroadcast the Bridge of Sportsmanship game tonight at 6:30 right here on the NCW Live channel. Thanks for everybody who watched. We had like 18,000 viewers on our Facebook page. And best of luck to both the Eastmont Wildcats and the Wenatchee Panthers. We hope they both make it to state, obviously. All right, to the Les Schwab soccer scoreboard from yesterday. There were other sports going on. Liberty Bell is the District 6 2B champion. 6-5, 3-2 shootout win over Tenasket last night. Brewster advanced with a 5-1 win over Lake Roosevelt. Here's a reminder of the schedule. Playoff soccer. Wenatchee will host Moses Lake tomorrow, noon. Leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. It's a last chance to state game. Ephrata will host West Valley of Spokane at noon. That's a crossover game. Cashman will take on Freeman in the CTL NEA crossover game. That's at Gonzaga Prep tomorrow at 2. Cascade will play Deer Park at the Apple Bowl at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then the District 6-7 2B glue crossovers. You got Brewster playing at Northwest Christian, and 1 Tenasket will host Davenport. Quincy High School, the site for the volleyball tournament yesterday. The District 6 volleyball tournament, Wilson Creek beating Pateras to win the district title. Riverside Christian ended NES season, and then Pateras advanced to state by sweeping Riverside Christian. In the crossovers in volleyball at Wenatchee High School, Kittitas beat Waterville, as you see there. Tri-Cities Prep victorious. Both of those teams will head to state. Volleyball schedule, very crowded tomorrow. The District 6 4A tournament is at West Valley High School. Moses Lake will play Eastmont, loser out game noon. Then Wenatchee will take on the Rams for the district championship. The Moses Lake Eastmont winner will face the loser of the Wenatchee West Valley match for a last chance to state. That's at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Wenatchee High, the side of tomorrow's District 6 1A tournament. Chelan will take on Okanagan for the district championship. Then Cascade and Omak will play a loser out game at 5. And then the Okanagan-Chelan loser will take on the Cascade-Omak winner. Last chance to state at 7 o'clock. And finally, Ephrata is in Pullman tomorrow for a 1 o'clock game. In the crossover game, the winner advances to the state 2A tournament. There is still some football games to be played in our region tonight. To the Caribou Trail League we go. Cascade will wrap up their season at home tonight. They'll take on Newport at 6 o'clock. Okanagan will host Riverside at 6. Chelan and the Scotties of Freeman will kick off at 7. The CWAC and Great Northern League, they play their crossover games tonight. Toppenish travels to Clarkston. Othello hosts Pullman. Ephrata is at East Valley of Spokane. And in the Bees tonight, you got Elmira Cooley Heartline hosting Soap Lake Bridgeport at Waterville Mansfield. Aniat hosts Odessa. The first state champions of the fall sports season will be crowned tomorrow. Cross country. And as always, it's going to be at Pasco at the Sun Willows Golf Course. It will get going at 9:30 tomorrow. Take a look at the schedule there. Can't forget about college football. In fact, it starts tonight. Huskies travel to Corvallis. They'll be taking on the Oregon State Beavers. You can check that out at 7:30. Tomorrow, Central Washington will host Southwest Baptist. Eastern is at Idaho State. And the Cougars are at Cal tomorrow. The Wenatchee Wild will try and extend their winning streak at home. The Penticton Vees are in town. A couple of games tonight. And tomorrow night, the puck drops at 7 o'clock tonight. It's Faith and Family Night. And then tomorrow, it's Youth Hockey Night to support our friends at the WHA. Of course, we're going to have a preview. Chris Clark and Trevor Griebel are going to join me a little bit later on here and Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And last but not least, of course, Seahawks don't play this weekend. They'll take on the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Last item of business in sports. Don't forget, this is your last chance to sign up and win. I got 4 ticket vouchers for the Wenatchee Wild. Again, these are vouchers, which means you can trade them in for tickets for any regular season home game at the Town Toyota Center that is not sold out. So if you want to use them this weekend for Penticton, you're more than welcome to do so. Winner at ncwlife.com is the email address. Get yourself entered. Winner at ncwlife.com. It's 1 entry per email address, and I will email the winner shortly after 10 o'clock this morning. Get your tickets in and get your emails in, and maybe you can be a winner. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday. The obscure holiday. Take a look at the image and see if you can guess what the obscure holiday is. Any idea? What are you looking at behind my shoulder? You're looking at a peck of pickled peppers. Today is Tongue Twister Day. Yeah, remember Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers? It's a tongue twister day. Words and sentences that are hard to articulate, especially if you talk it really fast. Did you know, and I had no idea until I read this the other day, they actually have tongue twisters for sign language people. I had no idea. They're called finger fumblers. So for people who know how to sign, they can do that too. They're called finger fumblers. The best way to celebrate Tongue Twister Day today is make up your own Tongue Twister Day today, because the internet told me to. It's 37 minutes after the hour. Today in history. Happy 130th birthday, Montana! Yeah! Happy birthday, Montana, one of my favorite states. It was admitted as the 41st state of this union on November 8th, 1889. And Montana does not have an official nickname. You think it would, but it doesn't. The state animal of Montana, big surprise here, the grizzly bear. There's only about 500 of them, but they're there in Montana. My favorite fact about Montana, Montana sent a greater percentage of its population to fight in both World War I and World War II than any other state. If you go by ratio percentage, they led the way. During World War I, the government actually overestimated Montana's population, and they drafted 28,000 Montanans to go fight in World War I, and another 2,500 actually volunteered. So about 8% of Montana's population fought in World War I. And then in World War II, in the middle of the Depression, a lot of Montana folks simply signed up for military service without even being drafted. 57,000 Montana natives fought in World War II. That's amazing, 10% of the population. Happy birthday, Montana, 130 years old today. November 8th, 1970, 49 years ago today, on the final play of the game, Tom Dempsey kicks a 63-yard field goal. The Saints beat the Lions 19-13 at Tulane Stadium in New Orleans. Let's go to the tape.
He's tying a 63-yard field goal. Not only will Tom Dempsey hits this one, he's got a very slight wind at his back. He'll set a National Football League record in addition to winning the game. I don't believe this.
It's good! I don't believe it! The field goal attempt was good from 63 yards away! It's incredible! Tulane Stadium has gone wild! A 63-yard field goal!
Absolutely incredible. The old record was 56 yards. He didn't break the record. He shattered the record. And of course, if you look at the videotape, it's very interesting because back in those days, of course, the goalpost was at the goal line, not the back of the end zone, but the front of the end zone. So Tom Dempsey was kicking from his own 37-yard line. A remarkable achievement. It happened on this date 49 years ago today. Unfortunately, it's no longer the record, but that's cool. And finally, happy birthday to HBO. 47 years ago today in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, HBO began broadcasting to 325 cable subscribers. Today, HBO has 50 million subscribers in the United States alone. It has become a behemoth, and it started in a little bitty experiment way back then in the early 70s. And finally, 40 minutes after the hour, we got a couple of birthdays. The only book that Margaret Mitchell ever wrote, Gone with the Wind. Not bad. If you're just going to write one book, make it a good one. Margaret Mitchell, the great author, was born in the state in 1900, was killed after being hit by an automobile in Atlanta at the age of 48 back in 1949. This is the only book that she ever wrote that was published in her lifetime. It took her 3 years to write Gone with the Wind. It's an American classic, and the lady who wrote it was born in the state in 1900. Happy birthday to Bonnie Raitt. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Bonnie Raitt celebrates birthday number 70 today. One of my favorites on the class act. Before we take a break and check in with Mike McNaughty and the Wenatchee Wild, friendly reminder about Campbell's and their destination deal. There's Bonnie again. Campbell's and their destination deal that's going on right now. It's for locals only. Locals only. That's us. $95 a night. $95 a night. How can Campbell's get away with that? Well, I'm not going to question why. If they want to do it, more power to them. All you got to do is give Campbell's a little buzz. Say, hey, I live in North Central Washington. I want a little getaway for the weekend. $95 a night will get you there. Campbell's. Great place to visit Campbell's. Great place and great time to visit as well. We're going to take a break. Got Mike McNaughty's opinion and my conversation with a couple of cool Wenatchee Wild folks coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
My awesome is being part of the Nez Perce tribe. We have a tourism company and we highlight the history and culture of the Nez Perce people. I found Washington Trust Bank because they were very involved in the community. They believed in me. They definitely saw the need for this in our region. All the folks at Washington Trust Bank are phenomenal. They've done such a wonderful job helping me along my journey.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, we'll help you get there.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, would you like to know one of the best kept secrets of our fair community? It's our extensive program of live theater. Of course, now this isn't a secret for some of us, but for many others in our community, they just aren't aware of this regular schedule of high-quality live theater that's available right here in Wenatchee. The Full Circle Theater Company, relatively a new group, has put on 3 annual shows over the past 3 years. The Mission Creek Players, they've been around for years. They also do an annual live production. Amusement Theater of Wenatchee, the group I'm generally connected with, they do no less than 3 or 4 shows a year. Check these group out and attend a live theater performance. Trust me, you'll thank me. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Friday. Whenever we have a chance to work our way down to the Town Toyota Center and talk about Wenatchee Wild hockey, we do. They have a huge 2-game series tonight and tomorrow night. The Penticton Vees are in town. The Wenatchee Wild are 11-8-1-1 on the year after a nice weekend against the Merritt Centennials here at the Town Toyota Center. Penticton is Penticton again, 16-3-1-0 on the year. It's going to be quite the challenge. Coach Chris Clark to my immediate left, and Trevor Griebel. Give it up for the blue line. A defenseman gets a little love here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Clarky, it was nice of you to dress up for the interview, bud.
Yeah, thank you. This is my nicest shirt, so I figured I better wear it for this one.
Are you cutting down a tree after we're done?
Yeah, you know what? I'm part-time lumberjack in the off season, so this is just part of my summertime attire that I wear in the winter.
Trevor, the pride of Arizona, Glendale, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up from Glendale, Arizona to Wenatchee, USA.
Okay. Originally, I was born in Tampa, Florida. My dad, he's a manual therapist. He's worked in the National Hockey League for, I think this is 19th season. So I was born in Tampa, like I said. He's working with the Lightning. He moved jobs with the Phoenix Coyotes, so that's how I was there for growing up. And then, I was recruited from Lido Medicine, so and then that's how I got here.
Did you know anything about Wenatchee at all before you got the call from the league?
No, honestly, not a whole lot until I got up here for my first camp in May, I believe it is. And I just got to like see the city and everything. And me and my dad, we loved it. It was kind of like an old school kind of like vibe, like 1980s kind of. He said so, yeah.
Clark, you remember the '80s, don't you?
Yeah, I was a young lad in the '80s, but I remember definitely the second half of the '80s probably more than the first half.
Talk a little bit about Trevor. He's a defenseman, and he's a darn good one.
Yeah, he is.
From a coaching standpoint, is he very coachable? His playing style. Talk about Trevor as a player.
No, he's definitely coachable. You can tell he's grown up in the pro atmosphere. He treats every day like a pro. He comes to the rink ready to work. If I had to describe him as a player, I would say he's definitely an offensive defenseman. Likes to create offense from the blue line or jumping up in the rush. But he's also very reliable defensively. He has the dubious task this year, a lot of nights, of playing against the other team's top line, which is never easy. And never easy to create offense or try to create offense when you're playing against the other team's top players. So he's made a huge jump from his first year to second year, and we're looking for him to continue to improve, and we know he will because, like I said, he's a pro every day.
In fact, I think, Trevor, did you score a goal last weekend against Merritt?
Yes, yes, I did, yeah.
Like the lamp, huh?
Yeah.
Which is, for a defenseman, probably pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool.
On a puck that he picked up below the goal line in the offensive zone. So,
yeah,
he likes to join.
A goal's a goal, you know.
That's right.
Exactly.
You're a lefty. Does that make any kind of difference from being a defenseman, or because I know being say a forward or a center, the side of the puck that you shoot plays a significant role. What about from a defensive standpoint, the fact that you're a left-hander? Does that play any role in that?
No, not too big of a role, I don't think. Just I'm playing on my strong side, playing lefty, so that's a pretty good fit for me. Playing my right side might be a little awkward, but playing lefty, it's a good fit right now.
Good.
Yep.
So you like Wenatchee? You're glad that you're here?
Yeah, I love it here. Yeah, great.
Good answer.
Good. Yeah, smart answer. Smart answer indeed. Did your dad get a chance to come up during the Father's Weekend, the family weekend, a couple weeks ago?
No, he's in season.
In hockey, right?
Yeah, he's in season with the Ducks. He'll be able to come up here their All-Star break though, and be able to check it out again. So
good.
Yep.
So you're a hockey lifer. You were born into hockey. You probably had skates on when you were born.
Oh yeah. I saw my brother when we were two years difference. So when he was 3, I was just about 1, and that's when I first got on the ice. I saw him doing it, and I was like, I told my mom, I was like screaming with my mom, like I need to be on the ice. And so they got me a first pair of skates, and they thought I was going to go out there and fall, and that was going to be it. But that didn't end up happening, and luckily here I am. So yeah.
Does a knowledgeable hockey fan understand the importance of the blue line, the defenseman? Because usually it's the guys who light the lamp get all the love. But you guys are just as important, if not more important, than anybody else on the ice.
Yeah, I mean,
do they get it? The fans, do they get it?
I think some of them do. I think for the most part, it's just kind of defending and kind of a bigger defenseman is what most fans see. But I think now the game's kind of switching. You got to be able to do a bit of both and be able to skate a lot more offensively. So, yeah.
Now, as defensemen go, you're not the biggest guy in the world. I've seen bigger defensemen. Is that an advantage for you? Because when the teams when they do a line change and that Trevor guy, he's nothing. I can take care of him.
Yeah, I don't think it's a disadvantage at all. I've had 2 defensive partners now. Luke Gallagher, he's a little bit smaller too, and I think he's perfect. He's fine to play with. He's great. And then last year, obviously Chad Sasaki, he was a great mentor for me last year, and I thought he kind of paved the way for me how to kind of slip checks maybe after you make a pass. Just as a smaller guy, those can take wears on you later on the season. So just kind of teach me the ins and outs like that.
Good weekend, Clarkie. We took care of Merritt. It's always nice to win at home.
Yeah, it was necessary. I think, especially in division, anytime you play at home, you got to defend your home ice and give Merritt credit. They stuck around both games, and people a lot of times you'll just look at their record and say, well, this should be a walk in the park, and those of us in the locker room and on the bench, we know there is no walk in the park in the BCHL, and I give them a ton of credit. I thought they played extremely hard. Both games were tied in the third period, and we really had to scratch, claw, fight our way into 2 victories on home ice. And like you said, it was good we took care of that, and now we have an equally as big challenge this weekend against Penticton.
Yeah, Penticton's in town. Penticton, when you think of the BCHL, the 2 most successful franchises, without question, have been Penticton and Vernon. They seem to be there every year, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
And Penticton even travels pretty well. They usually have a pretty good size contingent that comes down from Canada. What is it about the Vees that makes them so good? It's more than just players, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're just a first-class organization. I think there's a handful of teams, and really the whole BCHL is obviously a very quality league. But I think Penticton is one of those franchises you talk about in all the junior hockey, not just the BCHL or the USHL or the NAHL. It's one of those franchises that is the premier of all junior hockey. They do things from the way they treat the visiting teams to their on-ice. Obviously, it speaks for itself, to the promotion in between periods before the game, their arenas.
Yeah, the South Okanagan Event Center
it's
really cool.
Probably the nicest arena in junior hockey. So everything they do is first class. I think that they cut no shortcuts no matter what they're doing. And I think you gain a ton of respect for a program like that when you see every day that they're doing things the right way. And I think they probably, if you were to ask them, they'd probably say the same thing about our organization. I think it's one thing that's made our rivalry so good is there's a ton of respect between the two clubs. Bliss and Fred are very good friends away from the rink. But at the end of the day, we hate losing to each other. Yeah. And so when you have that respect factor, when you know that they're doing everything they can to make junior hockey better, we know we're doing everything we can to make junior hockey better, and then on top of it, you have two really good hockey teams that don't like to lose to each other. That's what makes the best rivalries.
They're a divisional rival as well, and it's so important. Yeah, you want to win. You want to win all the games. You're not going to do that. This is a reality. But you really want to win the games against your other teams in the interior division. That's really critical, isn't it?
Without a doubt. And geographically, they're the closest team to us. Like you said, their fans travel down well. I talk to them every time we go up there. They enjoy coming down here. They enjoy our valley. They love our arena. So just everything about it is kind of a perfect marriage for a great rivalry. Somehow, some way, we haven't played each other in the playoffs yet, which I think is so strange, but I'm sure that day is coming, and that's only going to intensify and make the rivalry even better.
Wenatchee is 11-18, 1-1 on the year. Is this and I'll ask you this, Trevor, and then I'll ask Clarkie. Is this team on the verge of just busting out and putting together a nice little 7 or 8 game winning streak getting into the holidays? Because you feel like you're almost there.
Yeah, for sure. I think the group of guys that we got in there, I wouldn't say like we're not a young group of guys, but just a little bit inexperienced off the start. So getting to know each other, and just playing throughout it, like we're due for a good stretch here. Yeah.
Clarkie, same question.
Yeah, no, I think that we're growing a whole bunch as a team, and really we talk all the time just about getting better each day. We'll start with Friday night here tonight and see how that goes, and then we'll worry about Saturday. In a perfect world, would I love to rip off 8 wins in a row, of course, but we understand the process is we're going to look to our next game, and that's tonight against Penticton, and then after tonight we'll figure out what happens Saturday, and then hopefully if you continue to do things the right way as we have the last several weeks here, I think you'll start to see those wins accumulate. We're seeing players individually make huge strides, and as a team, as individuals make huge strides, then the team makes huge strides, and we're definitely pointed in the right direction. Now we just got to keep going and keep improving.
When you scout a team like Penticton, who's 16-3, 1-0 on the year, they started out, I think they won like their first 10 or 11 games.
Yeah.
When you look at film, are you looking at the 3 losses and how those teams beat Penticton, or are you looking at how Penticton roared out and won 16 games so young into the year?
I think you more look at just what they do. I mean, we'll be the first team to tell you we worry more about ourselves than we do anything really. We want to play our game, and we know that when we're playing our game to the best of our ability, we're going to be a tough out for anybody. Now, you can't be naive and not understand that they have some serious firepower. So if you turn the puck over, if you don't take care of the puck, they're going to hurt you. If you go to the box a whole bunch, it's going to be a long night. So for us, it's more about understanding how their power play works, their trends that they like to do on the power play and the penalty kill, and then, like I said, for us, mostly just taking care of the puck, staying out of the penalty box, which are really keys to playing any team. Yeah. If we can play 5-on-5, we like our chances against anybody, and then obviously if you're playing well 5-on-5, you should draw penalties, so you'd be on the power play. But if you're going to the box all night and you're not taking care of the puck and you're turning the puck over, then whether you're playing Penticton or you're playing Edina High School, it doesn't matter. You're going to be in for a tough night. And so really for us, we'll worry about ourselves, doing the things that we do well, and then we'll adjust as the game goes on.
Trevor, when you're not on the skates or hanging around with your wild buddies, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? What are some of the things they like to do during your downtime, Trevor?
During the season, the guys were into Netflix. We kind of all like to get together at a house and kind of binge watch different TV shows, or get together and watch like the NHL games that night and just kind of stay active together. We also like to meet up. We'll do like spike ball tournaments. I don't know if you see that. It's usually a game we play at the beach. It's kind of a West Coast thing, but We've kind of brought it here, and everybody loves to do it. So, yeah, those are two big things we like to do.
You have a favorite NHL hockey player?
Shane Gostisbehere from the Philadelphia Flyers. To kind of model my game after him just a bit, yeah.
Okay. And your favorite hockey team, is it down in Phoenix? Or
no, Tampa Bay Lightning, I'd say. Okay. Yeah. Born there, Dad worked for them for a bit, so Tampa Bay Lightning, yeah.
Were you around when they won the Cup a few years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Were you around when that happened?
Yeah, they won it in 2004. Yeah, my dad was with the team.
Yeah.
We got to experience that. Yeah, he's got the ring. He's got a mini Stanley Cup. We got a day with it and everything. It was a great experience, yeah.
What we really need is to get Freddie back, but that's another story altogether.
We'll work on that.
We'll work on that. Friday, tonight is Faith and Family Night, courtesy of Keel Security. Tomorrow is Youth Hockey Night. They're going to do some benefits for WAHA, the very important youth hockey organization. That is on Saturday night. The tickets. I can't forget about that. This is the last chance, folks. Email me. I got 4 ticket vouchers. Now, you don't have to use these for tonight or tomorrow night. You can use them any Wenatchee Wild hockey game, regular season game that is not sold out. These are vouchers, so you go to the box office, you give them the voucher, they give you tickets for whatever game you want to do. I got 4 of them. If you want to do 3 in 1, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Winner at ncwlife.com. Winner at ncwlife.com is the email address. I'll give these away at 10 o'clock this morning. And again, it's 1 entry per email address, please. Clarky, anything else on your mind while I got you here?
No, just another great weekend. Like you said, probably our biggest rival, the Penticton Vees, coming to town. We're going to be wearing the specialty black-on-black jerseys. They're really cool, and then we're going to hopefully raise a whole bunch of money after Saturday's game, whether it be by the silent auction going on the concourse or the live auction that people can stay around for after. So those are usually my fun, for me, the best weekends when you're playing a good hockey team on the other side, and then hopefully we raise a whole bunch of money to stay right here in the community and help out the WAHA kids.
Yeah, we love WAHA. You want to say hi to anybody? I'm sure they're going to be watching, Trevor. Go ahead.
Yeah, just say hi to my mom, my dad back home.
So they can actually hear you.
Say hi to my mom back home. So yeah, hi mom.
There you go, Wenatchee Wild and Penticton Vees. I would say Penticton. I don't think I'm going out on a limb here. Probably our biggest rival.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
definitely the game I circle on the calendar every year. The schedule comes out.
So go on. Hey, Penticton brings a lot of fans. We got to do our part, fans. All right. Wenatchee Wild, Penticton Vees tonight and tomorrow night at the Town Toyota Center. Clarky, it's always good to see you.
Thank you, buddy.
Seriously, I mean, come on, you can do better than this.
All right, you know what? Next time I'm wearing a suit. I'm coming in a 3-piece suit.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality selection and service since 1896.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires. Well, more like Les Schwab alignment and brakes and shocks and wheels and tires. Now, some tire places don't offer all that. They only sell tires. And we're not sure how they sleep at night, because all those services affect things like steering and stopping. That's why we offer more than tires to help keep you safe. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
And we're back. Let's wrap up this program and wrap up the week with one more look at your forecast from our friends at Patriot Plumbing. And as I mentioned before, one more day of dry and stable conditions, and then here come the clouds. The air stagnation advisory is due to expire at noon today. It will probably do just that. The high-pressure ridge, which has been dominating our weather for the last 10 days or so, has moved down. This moved south and it's moved to the west. It's going to allow a weak weather disturbance to come in on Saturday and Sunday. Should be enough to scour out the pollutants in the air, though. We'd like that. As you can see, what's going to happen this weekend is the sun's going to be taking the weekend off, but we're going to be warmer. We're going to be considerably milder than what we've had lately, and it's looking pretty good. Just not a lot of sunshine on Saturday and Sunday. Don't forget, Monday is Veterans Day. Can't forget about that. So there'll be no school on Monday. Governmental offices will be closed. There'll be no mail delivery. Many banks will not be operating, but we will be here on Monday. But our Monday tradition will continue when we come back on Monday, and that is we'll be here and we'll be working. We just won't be working real hard. On Monday, a very important conversation. We're going to be talking about adolescent depression. They're going to have a seminar at the local Televent Center at the Pybus Public Market on Tuesday of next week. We'll talk to the experts involved in that. That'll be on Monday's show. And don't forget, we're rebroadcasting the Bridge of Sportsmanship game tonight at 6:30. Relive the memories. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.